Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. In today's video I wanted to sit down with Chipsa now that Doomfist is very strong right now, has become incredibly meta, and a lot of people of course want to see him nerfed. In a very biased sense, Chipsa wanted to say that it's not necessarily Doomfist's fault and points a lot of the blame at Orisa. You can find all of Chipsa's details in the description below as we talk about the state of Doomfist, but let's get started. Why is Doomfist now such a prominent pick? Because it feels like he's just come out of nowhere yet again.
I would say the primary reason why Doomfist is being played so much is exclusively because Orisa Sigma is so strong right now. Doomfist is pretty much the only DPS here in the game that counters both Orisa and Sigma in terms of the fact that he can do almost all of his damage through shields. He ignores Sigma's shield entirely, ignores Sigma's grasp thingy, whatever it's called, and he can also like uppercut people out of the Orisa shield. So basically the primary reason why Doom's being played is because he's pretty much the only DPS here in the game that actually counters the double shields.
Is Doomfist one of those heroes that can be used, let's say, in Platinum? No doubt you have like Platinum Doomfists that are fans of yours that tell you how they're doing. Like, is it one of those things that this only really applies to the top tier, or would you say that Doomfist is now really good across the board so long as you can like play him?
I mean, I think Doomfist has always been a very, very good hero to play at lower elos, because I think the skill curve of Doomfist is quite interesting. That in order to play Doomfist at a competent level, it's quite difficult, but once you hit that kind of level, once you've got a certain amount of hours in Doomfist, you can kind of just steamroll everyone. And because the people in Platinum are much worse at managing their CCs, I think Doomfist is an incredibly strong hero at lower elo. I think he's probably the best hero in the lower elo to climb with. So yeah, I think there's no problems playing Doomfist at lower elo.
So basically, because there's loads of barriers, Doomfist is really good simply because he is the projectile, he can go through barriers. And like, I guess, is it frustrating for you then to be in this position where playing Doomfist, he seems to almost come out of nowhere with how good or popular he is, and then Blizzard nerf him, and it seems to happen over and over again. Like over the past 4 or 5 months, what has been playing Doomfist been like for you?
Now Doomfist has come to prominence, and it frustrates me because I think what Blizzard will do is they'll nerf Doomfist either at the same time or before they nerf heroes like Orisa and Sigma, which I think is fundamentally the absolutely incorrect thing to do, because the fundamental issue with the game in my mind is the fact that shields are so strong that they negate 80% of the DPS. You know, you play half of the DPS heroes in the game, like Soldier, you know, McCree, Widow, half these heroes in the game just you can't play them into double shield because shields are way too strong. And Doomfist is effectively the only hero in the game that truly gets value against double shield. And the fact that I do think that they'll nerf Doomfist before they nerf the shield tanks just kind of makes me sad, because now the shield tanks will just become even stronger and the problem will become amplified and not solved. Doomfist is just more of a symptom to the problem than the actual problem itself.
So it's not really his fault that he's really good right now. And even then, he, much like a lot of heroes, when a meta changes, suddenly becomes very good. And, you know, like I spoke to Valkyria about Pharah before, and he was very frustrated because Sigma's really good at shutting her out. Now, because Doomfist Reaper is really popular DPS-wise, Pharah, even though she might not be deemed very good, suddenly has become very popular because of what she can do against that. So it feels like a lot of the heroes in the game at the moment are just like held hostage, I suppose, by like barriers.
Yeah, I think the problem is that I think the tank heroes in the game specifically are so, the power creep of the tanks I think is so crazy compared to the DPS. I think Doomfist might need a nerf. I think that's probable, but I think nerfing him now would be a mistake, because the power creep of the tank line right now, Orisa is such a strong hero. I think she's the best hero in the game by far, that she kind of just neutralizes 90% of the heroes in the game. It's the same kind of problem with goats, as you can't play any heroes into goats because the comp itself is so strong. But now that's no longer an issue. I think it's kind of snowballed onto Orisa as a hero. And what I don't want Blizzard to do, and what I think they need to do, is be more careful with their balance changes, is that they need to understand that half the heroes in the game are only played because they're like direct counters to the current meta, not because them specifically are overpowered heroes. I mean, if I was to nerf Doomfist, I think that the problem I have with Doomfist as a hero is that he's very frustrating to play against. I think that too much power relies in his rocket punch, so I would nerf his rocket punch in some way. Maybe increase the cooldown to 5 seconds. Maybe reduce the damage to 200 instead of 250, or maybe like reduce the CC amount you get CC'd. Like I said, I think you just need to gut Orisa completely. I think she's insanely strong. She's incredibly frustrating to play. So I think once you nerf this hero, I think you'll see Doomfist not really being an issue anymore. I think, you know, Dive will come back, like Hammond D.Va, Monkey D.Va. You might see Rein Zarya played again. All these, like, in my opinion, healthy tank metas will come back, and I think Doomfist will not be anywhere near as much of a problem as he is now.
So I guess this is one of those things to say that if you are in games with a good Doomfist against you and you're just like, this hero is brokenly strong, more of a don't hate the player, hate the game, or specifically hate Orisa.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of it as well is that this is quite an interesting concept in general, is that people don't understand that, okay, Doomfist does really well against Orisa Sigma, but like you could just switch your comp to Orisa Hog, and sure, you might have a slightly worse comp, but oftentimes the enemy team's not even running Orisa Sigma. But you might have a slightly worse comp in the tank line, but Orisa Hog and then maybe running a McCree with it basically completely neutralizes the Doomfist. The Doomfist is very difficult to push into that, hence why Doomfist never got played at all during bunker meta. And this is something I don't think teams utilize at all, is just how strong just switching one hero, making your tank line slightly worse in order to counter the enemy Doomfist actually is. And people just kind of have this mentality, well, Orisa Sigma is the best, so we have to play this 100% of the time, we can never switch off. And that's the kind of mindset I think that is actually probably a bigger reason why you're losing to Doomfist than the actual hero being OP.
Like, she's used in these like Moira, Lucio, May Reaper comps where you're moving around a load. And like Orisa shouldn't be able to do that, is what I feel. Like, I sort of agree where, like a Bastion, you don't want to mess with an Orisa when she's like plunked herself down, but the weakness has to be that as soon as she starts moving, she's a lot weaker. And it really doesn't feel like that's the case anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the pinnacle of, in my opinion, when a hero is overtuned, is when you're playing a hero when the hero shouldn't be strong. Like, in the meta that was like the May Reaper, Lucio Moira, Orisa D.Va, Orisa Hog, whatever, that is the perfect meta where Orisa should not be played. That should be Ryan's meta, because Ryan's entire shtick is the fact that he can move with his shield. And he's not like a super mobile tank, but he's mobile in terms of like linear running at the enemy. And the fact that Orisa is played in that situation instead of Ryan, I think shows a testament to how like insanely overtuned this hero is.
Finally, are there any other things that you really wanted to recap or reaffirm at the end of this video?
Other than Blizzard, please don't nerf my Doomfist. Not really, no. I think if somehow Blizzard are watching this video, I think they need to take a long, hard look at Orisa, and I think that she's the problem. I know you might not want to listen to a Doomfist player, but I think Orisa is the problem. Doomfist is more of a reactionary counter to the problem, so just please nerf Orisa.
And just, I guess, to sort of prove that it's not just hyperbole, pro player hates every single meta because that's what Blizzard, like Overwatch players do. What metas did you enjoy in the past or didn't enjoy?
I would say I enjoyed most metas. The only meta I don't think I enjoyed was Double Sniper and Bunker. Again, my always philosophy on the meta is never... I enjoy every meta to a degree. The problem I have with metas is that they become stale when they become meta for over a certain amount of time. Goats was meta for like a year, and that was the problem with the meta, in my opinion, not the actual comp.
How long do you expect this to be meta?
I don't think it'll be meta for more than a month. I think... Because again, the fix is relatively easy. With previous metas like Dive and Goats, the meta wasn't so much based off hero strength, it was more based off like a fundamental philosophy of how you play the game, you know? Like diving is you pick a target and you insta-kill the target, you know? Goats is like okay, we're playing on the objective and we're playing to stay alive. And nerfing a concept is virtually impossible, but nerfing a concept that doesn't make sense, like Double Shield doesn't really make sense. Just nerfing the heroes I think will fix the meta. So I think it'll be a month after the day this video is released. If it's still meta after this month, I'll I'll be sad. But I don't think it will be.
I feel like you were going to sort of say a bet then.
No. I'm not doing bets anymore. It's too dangerous now.
Oh, what, after you were going to get somebody tattooed on your ass?
No, that didn't happen. But yes.
Unfortunate. Where can people see more of you?
I stream every day, twitch.tv/Chipsa. I stream around 3 p.m. UK time, virtually every single day, so you can see me there.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, do check out all of Chipsa's details, his Twitch and stuff, in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.